Prepare to experience the strongest radio allowable by law. Secrets will be revealed. Myths dispelled. From the studio gym where excuses never apply, it's Superhuman Radio with your host, Carl Lenore.
Hey, welcome back to another episode of Superhuman Radio, building a superhuman nation one person at a time. That is the goal of the show, to change and save lives. I am only interested in the truth because lies will just shorten my life. So I really work hard not to have any biases about anything that I do. I've changed my position on a lot of things as new science comes out. I don't just trust science exclusively. I apply critical thinking. What do I already know? Does this contradict what I already know to be true? If it does, I don't change what I know to be true. Before we get started, I have to thank my title sponsor, and that's Legendary Foods, makers of the Tasty Pastry. The Tasty Pastry started out as a solution to the Pop-Tart, but it's become so much more because you'll think you're really eating cake when you eat the Tasty Pastry. The flavors are amazing, 20 grams of high-quality protein, less than 1 gram of sugar. And for those of us who observe our carbohydrate intake, 4 to 5 net carbs, so it'll keep you in your lane if you're a low carb or keto person. Go to shrnetwork.biz/legendary. Use the code SHR10 today and save 10% off, and let them know that you heard about them here on Superhuman Radio. So I'm really excited about today's guest. It's me. I'm doing this show solo today. It amazes me how many people don't understand what actually causes skin cancer. And most of that is because the truth is being drowned out by agenda-driven pharmaceuticals and the dermatological orthodoxy that promotes this notion that sun is the cause of skin cancer. So first, let's identify the word cause, right? We know in research, there's correlations, which means these two things seem to happen a lot together side by side. And then there's causality, which means this thing here caused that thing there. So correlations just show side by side statistical references that things kind of line up together, right? We've joked about this. If epidemiologists were tasked with learning what causes house fires, they'd say fire trucks cause house fires because every time 100% there's house fires, there's a fire truck. So clearly, the presence of a fire truck at a house fire must indicate causality, but it doesn't. It indicates the correlation. They just both happen at the same time. But one of them is happening first, and that is where we can find causality. The thing that actually happens first to trigger the event or the phenomenon. This is what we want to know about when we talk about skin cancer. Just the way a book of matches doesn't start a house fire, it takes something to start the house fire. It takes someone striking the match and lighting the curtains. That is the cause of the house fire, and not the book of matches, even though they were the flame that was used. And I'm going to show you today, and I believe that when we're done with this, you will feel confident that you understand how to protect yourself from ever getting skin cancer. And it's so simple. The sun is an unwilling participant in the development of skin cancer. There are lots of things that are being aligned, showing correlations to skin cancer. The sun is one of them. I'm going to prove that the sun is correlating with skin cancer. It's not actually causing it. But we're also seeing research coming out that shows that artificial light may be contributing to some forms of skin cancer. We're also seeing that radio frequencies, and when I talk about radio frequencies, I talk about the higher the radio frequency, the higher degree of ionizing it does. And ionizing leads to oxidation. So the old two-way radios that were 460 megahertz, they really didn't produce a lot of energy. And they were not in that realm of where they could actually have an effect on cells. They do have an effect on cells, don't get me wrong. but not to the degree the higher waveforms do. Like once you get above 1 gigahertz, that's 900 megahertz and above, 1 gig to most cordless phones at home are like 4.6 gigs. These are very high frequencies. These are close to microwave. They're closer to microwave than they are to VHF, like your old TV set, okay? And there is some evidence that this soup, S-O-U-P, this soup of RF that we live in, from our routers, our cell phones, our Bluetooth, our Wi-Fi's, and then your neighbor's duplicate equipment and their neighbor and everybody around you, and we literally live in a soup of RF today. And there are some correlations being made successfully with RF exposure and changes in the skin that lead to skin cancers. But my argument right now, if I just use critical thinking, is if these things cause skin cancer, absolutely. Let me give you a stupidly astonishing analogy. It's so ridiculous that you're going to say, Carl, but really think about it. If someone takes a gun and shoots you in the heart, you will most definitely die. I would imagine that 100% of all gunshot wounds to the heart end in fatality. Okay? So this is actual evidence of cause and effect. The bullet pierces the heart explodes, the person dies 100% of the time. Doesn't matter. If sun and RF were the causes of skin cancer, then 100% or someplace close to 100% of the population exposed to these things would get skin cancer. And what I'm arguing here is that it's not the sun, or at least it's not the sun alone. There is something else afoot here that is truly the reason some people get, not 100% of the people who lay out in the sun get skin cancer. So there's got to be something else at work here. So let me take you down a little road to start to build a foundation of where I'm going to be going today. Recently, I have been using a new super turmeric supplement. I love it. When I love something, I overdo it. You don't have to load with turmeric. Turmeric is supposed to start causing a reduction in inflammation like immediately. I'm like, okay, so that means that if I triple the dose of this actual high-performing, high-quality turmeric product, it's actually standardized using Sabinsa's C3 turmeric, which is standardized for the curcumoid content. This is like pharmaceutical turmeric, and I'm taking it every day, and I'm actually noticing some things like inflammatory response. I lose a bunch of body of water. I attribute that to reduction in edema. We know edema makes tissue hold water. Like I just lost 1.5 pounds like overnight, just when around the third day I was using it. I was like, this is interesting. So I keep using it. So one morning, I was giving myself my morning peptide shots, and Elisa looked at the towel, the paper towel that I had folded into a swab, put alcohol on it to just dab the skin where I was going to do my injection that morning. And she said, "What's all that yellow stuff on that paper towel?" I looked at it, and I looked at my hands, and I didn't really see anything on my hands. I said, I don't know. I wonder if, let me see something. So I got a fresh alcohol. I made another pad like that with the paper towel, put the alcohol on it. I said to Elisa, pick that up and rub it on your hands. And she did, and she put it down. It was fine. It didn't change colors. It was still the white paper towel. The ink wasn't running in the paper towel, so it wasn't that. I pick up the same thing. I just take it between my index finger, my middle finger, and my thumb and just kind of spin it around a little bit, and then I put it down, and it's all yellow. And I'm like, oh, sure, it's getting into my skin. This makes perfect sense. We all know that when we eat a lot of garlic, it comes out of your skin. I mean, it's coming out of your skin. It's not like coming from the center of your body, like your body is some empty shell, and all there is the shell and skin. So whatever's in there floating around kind of permeates through the skin. No, it's actually making its deposition in your skin. And the sulfuronic acid, I think it's called, is coming out of your skin because it's in your skin. So you see where I'm going with this so far, right? We know that what we put in our mouth is deposited in every cell in our body, including your skin. There is evidence that there are things that you could consume that will protect your skin against getting skin cancer.
More than 240 million Americans take supplements daily in pill form, but poor nutrient absorption means the promised results are rarely achieved. Healthy Cell uses a clinically proven patent-pending gel delivery system that increases absorption by 165% over pill form. Go to shrnetwork.biz/healthycell. That's HEALTHYCELL today and use the code SHR to save 20% off your purchase of Healthy Cell supplements.
New Mass Pro Synthagen X2 just upped its own legendary game. To distance itself even further from the rest of the pack, Synthagen X2 now has double the key active ingredients. If you've ever wondered what steroid-like recovery feels like, Synthagen X2 delivers. See why others compare it favorably to powerful bodybuilding drugs at synthagen.com. Mass Pro Synthagen. When you train with it, you'll gain with it.
I would easily say that I am the hugest proponent you will ever meet to doing anything that will improve the quality of my sleep. And that's because sleep is linked to just about every metabolic disorder we see in our population today. One of the easiest things you can do to improve the quality of your sleep is to get a pillow that can be shaped into the exact form factor that allows you to get your best night's sleep. And that is MyPillow. I've been sleeping with MyPillow for a few years now, and I can tell you that when I have to travel and stay in hotels, I don't get a good night's sleep because I don't have MyPillow with me. Right now, you can save up to 60% off of everything offered to improve the quality of your sleep at shrnetwork.biz/mypillow when you use the code SHR. Or you can call toll-free 800-889-4938. And remember to use code SHR to save up to 60% off of everything at their website. Being superhuman means being conscientious about the choices we make. White Oak Pastures is superhuman when it comes to raising livestock. They're committed to animal welfare, land regeneration, and rural revival. They responsibly manage the entire process from the pasture to your doorstep. High-quality, pasture-raised, great-tasting meat from a farm you can trust. Full nose-to-tail selections. They even have options for your pet. Go to shrnetwork.biz/whiteoak and use the code SUPERHUMAN to save 10% off your entire first order. If you'd like a shortcut to better sleep, more energy, and calmer, more stable moods, then you should make sure you're supplementing with magnesium daily. Let me tell you why. About 75% of people are magnesium deficient. This deficiency can lead to higher levels of anxiety, irritability, trouble sleeping, and low energy. It can even contribute to foot and leg cramps while you sleep. Magnesium Breakthrough by BioProt is the single best magnesium supplement in the world. Simply take 2 capsules before you go to bed, and you'll be amazed by the improvements in your mood and energy levels and how much more rested you feel when you wake up. I take Magnesium Breakthrough every night, and I sleep better because I use it. Go to magbreakthrough.com/SHR and use the code SHR10 during checkout to save 10% off and get free shipping. Check it out. Plant medicine has become all the rage for mental optimization. Now there's an ancient plant medicine rapidly growing in popularity that experts believe might just be the alcohol of the future. It's called True Kava. Kava is a natural food-grade elixir that has been used for over 3,000 years by South Pacific Islanders as safe, non-addictive alternative to drugs and alcohol. By naturally boosting the brain's main feel-good chemicals, dopamine, serotonin, and GABA, Kava provides you with both increased relaxation and mental clarity at the same time. True Kava is a new form of stabilized full-spectrum traditional Kava that is third-party lab tested for quality and safety. Go to shrnetwork.biz/true Kava, and that's TRUKAVA, all one word, and use code SHR for 25% off today.
This is the Superhuman Channel, where we use oxygen for the power of good.
I think we all can agree now, right, that what you eat gets into your skin. And there's examples of it that you've experienced in your own life. We don't need a study to show this, but there are studies. There are studies. And the most profound studies that are done are on what are called retinoids, vitamin A, real vitamin A, retinol palmitate. And I'm going to talk about 2 different types of vitamin A today because there's some evidence that rubbing vitamin A supplements on your skin actually can cause skin cancer. Yes. Look, we did not evolve rubbing vitamin A on our skin. We evolved eating vitamin A in our diet from the animals that we ate. And Dr. Chris Masterjohn was one of the first people to ever talk about vitamin A and its importance, and he juxtaposed it against vitamin D and said, if you're taking lots of vitamin D, you need to take lots of vitamin A too. And he's been shown now, as we fast forward today, I mean, I'm talking about like maybe 10 years ago, I had him on the show talking about vitamin A. Vitamin A is required for stem cell differentiation. If you have stem cells in your body and they're trying to repair something and you are depleted of real vitamin A, I don't mean beta-carotene, because beta-carotenes and carotenoids don't always convert to vitamin A, to real vitamin A. But in and of themselves, they have protective effects in the skin, and we'll get into that. But if you have stem cells and they're not repairing tissue and you don't have vitamin A in your body, part of the reason they can't differentiate is because of the lack of vitamin A. So there's lots of studies that look at retinoids in the prevention of cancer. All sorts of cancers, lung cancer, but most notably skin cancer. Retinol has a profound effect on the skin. This is why they put it in a lot of cosmetics, but getting it through your skin is inappropriate from an evolutionary standpoint. Getting it through your gut is where you need to do it. And women who are worried about their skin that are taking retinol creams now need to stop taking the retinol creams and start taking real retinol palmitate, 10,000 IUs a day. That's not a harmful dose. Part of the problem with vitamin A goes back to, this constant underlying theme within the medical orthodoxy that people are too stupid to care for themselves. People are too stupid to understand this stuff. So they just say, oh, vitamin A is toxic. Well, yeah. The only people that have ever been killed from vitamin A toxicity ate polar bear liver, and apparently the outer membrane of the polar bear liver is where like 80% of the vitamin A resides. Well, these people didn't know. They were probably hunter-gatherer types, and they killed a polar bear and they ate his liver and they died. The cells in their liver actually burst from the deposition, the excess deposition of vitamin A. So that happened, and then it was like, oh, vitamin A is dangerous. No, eating polar bear liver is dangerous. Tell people the truth. They'll figure things out. So people avoid vitamin A. They go, oh, it's fat soluble. Big deal. Big deal. So anyway, the pathway, if you take a retinol palmitate supplement, for instance, it actually undergoes 3 different conversions. And I'm trying to remember what they are. Yeah, let me see. I may have written them down. But anyway, it undergoes 3 different conversions to become what it needs to become. So it starts out as retinol. It turns into retinal, A-L, right? R-E-T-I-N-O-L turns to R-E-T-I-N-A-L, and then ultimately retinoic acid. And the latter is the final step in the journey of conversion for vitamin A. So it makes perfect sense that if you rub vitamin A cream on you, which is retinol, it's not going to turn to retinal or retinoic acid. Now, they may be using retinoic acid at the final stage, but your skin was never designed to absorb it from the outside in. It's designed to absorb it from the inside out, because that's what 1.8 million years of evolution has acted upon us. So don't rub vitamin A cream on your skin. Don't. Take vitamin A, real vitamin A, or eat foods that are very, very high in vitamin A and eat them often. Okay, so the most profound cancer preventive effects of any supplement, and I call it a supplement because you can get it in a supplement form, taken orally, and I'm specifying that for those of you who are going to go, well, I have vitamin A cream, I rub it on my skin, I'm protected. No, you're not. Environmental Working Group put together. I want to repeat a couple things at the beginning of this segment that we talked about earlier to make sure that these stay front and center as you're thinking about this stuff. Not everybody who's exposed to the sun or RF gets skin cancer. And not everyone who uses sunblock ridiculously, continuously, to protect themselves against skin cancer is protected against skin cancer, because a lot of people who use sunblock get skin cancer anyway. So there's got to be something else. It has to be something else. The idea that we keep talking about the sun is just silly. It really is. And if this is true, people by the equator would have the highest degree of skin cancer, and they don't. Isn't that interesting? And the medical orthodoxy knows this. The Dermatological Society knows this. The Skin Cancer Foundation knows this. Because if you go to skincancer.org and you look and search the word diet and skin cancer, there's a really well-done article. And it's worded properly, too. You see dermatologists twice a year for full-body skin exam. You wear a wide-brimmed hat and sunglasses outside and stay under an umbrella at the beach or pool. You always use an SPF 15 or higher sunscreen whenever you go outdoors. Readily, and at least every 2 hours, you're reapplying. You avoid tanning beds like the plague. After all of those precautions, is there anything more that you can do to avoid skin cancer? Think about this. If all of those things worked, that second paragraph wouldn't start out with, after all of those precautions, is there anything more you can do to avoid skin cancer? That sentence says, all that is probably not working for some of you. Is there anything else you can do? And then they go on to talk about the diet. And they don't get it right. They get it okay, but they don't get it right. Because what they really ignore and they stay away from, they talk about polyphenols and omega-3 fatty acids. They talk about vitamin C. They talk about beta-carotene, but not real vitamin A. Why, folks? You know why? Because everybody's afraid of real vitamin A. They think it's toxic. It's not toxic. Just don't eat polar bear livers. That's all. And you're good. Selenium, they talk about vitamin D, they talk about vitamin E, they talk about zinc, they talk about all these things that you can take, and they're right. They're right. But in the words of a brilliant man named Ron Penna, sometimes it's not what you add to your diet, it's what you remove from your diet that has the greatest impact on your life and your health. And whenever I apply that overlay onto things, I start to ask questions, well, are there any foods that actually could contribute to the production of free radicals? And there are. There's a lot of them. The most notable are the fats and oils that we use today instead of animal fats. They all come up as being promoters of free radicals, of oxidative stress. Now, remember, folks, everything you put in your mouth gets in your skin. So if you're doing all the rapeseed, well, it's not rape, what do they call it? They call it canola oil, right? If you're doing all the canola oil and you're doing all the soybean oil, you're using all those really crappy oils. They are getting into your skin. They have been shown to cause free radicals, cause oxidative stress. If you're eating a lot of processed meats, it's not meat, folks. It's not meat. So what I've discovered, and I understand, it's not the nitrates or the nitrites either, folks, because celery's got that. Celery's good for you. When they make these products, they render them at extremely high heats. And the emerging research on high heat cooking of meats is showing that they produce carcinogens. They become, for lack of better words, non-food foods. I just made that up on the spot. Because high heat cooking denatures the meat and changes it so dramatically that it actually has the ability to turn them into AGEs, advanced glycation end products. We're going to talk about that in a couple minutes anyway. Because I can tell you who's got the greatest risk of skin cancer. And I can tell you how to look at a person and look at their skin and know it. And it's not because they have light skin either. But I'll tell you in a second. So, processed meats, alcohol. Yeah, alcohol gets into your skin. We know that, right? If you've gone out and drank for 2 days in a row, somebody will say, geez, you reek of alcohol. Yeah, it's in your skin and it's coming out. You've become a one of those deodorizer wicks. So these are the things that have been cited as promoting free radicals, but there's other foods too. We just don't know it.
Most people have heard of phytoestrogens, but did you know there are beneficial phytoandrogens? The top source of these is pine pollen. It even contains trace amounts of testosterone and DHEA. If you're looking for a 100% natural testosterone booster, this is worth trying. Lots of men love it, and it even works for women. Lost Empire Herbs offers the highest quality wild harvested, non-irradiated pine pollen backed by a 365-day money-back guarantee. It works for you, or you don't have to pay for it with nothing to send back. Go to shrnetwork.biz/Lost Empire. Use code SHR. Get 15% off your order today. If you've listened to this show for any length of time, you know that I have struggled to give up coffee for years. Coffee has destroyed my gut and it's impaired my health. Well, I haven't had coffee in months thanks to a product called Magic Mind. Magic Mind is the first nootropic blend I actually feel working. One shot and I'm good all day long. My memory is crystal clear and I'm able to function and have great focus without coffee or caffeine for that matter. If you want to try a product that really works, if you're like me and you want to give up coffee forever, or you just need something occasionally that will help you lift the brain fog, Magic Mind is your product. I promise you that this product you will feel when you use it. Go to shrnetwork.biz/Magic Mind, all one word, and use the code SHR for a whopping 20% off your first order. C60, also known as Buckminster fullerene, is the most powerful, most versatile antioxidant in the world. It's been shown in studies to double the lifespan of rodents. We all know the importance of taking antioxidants to slow aging, reduce inflammation, and improve mitochondrial function and energy production. But there are literally hundreds of antioxidants that would cost you thousands of dollars to take every day. I take one. I take C60 from C360 Health. Revive and Rejuvenate are two blends that harness the power of C60. Don't waste another minute. Go to shrnetwork.biz/revive and use the code SHR for 15% off and free shipping inside the United States today.
Dogs should be powered by fat and protein, not carbs. That's why Visionary Pet makes low-carb, ketogenic dog food for dogs of all breeds and life stages. From kibble to freeze-dried and even low-carb treats, all Visionary Pet recipes are very low-carb, ketogenic, and made with 100% real meat protein. Shop now and use code SHR for 20% off your first order today. Your dog deserves the lifelong benefits of optimal nutrition. Make the switch to Visionary and see why smart dogs eat low carb.
Are you 35 or older? Every year after puberty, your growth hormone decreases sometimes by 50% by the age of 35, and it only keeps going down from there. This affects everything from making it harder to recover from workouts, sleep, and a general loss of a sense of well-being. It also affects your ability to get and stay lean. BioPro Plus is the first of its kind, 100% non-synthetic alternative to prescription synthetic growth hormone treatments. All the benefits without any of the needles or side effects, and 100% safe. Previously only available through doctors, you can go to shrnetwork.biz/biopro, that's BIOPRO, and use code SHR30 for $30 off today. You may be wondering why you're experiencing performance issues in the bedroom, but you're not alone. Over 30 million men experience a form of erectile dysfunction, and to many, it can feel defeating. Maybe you've tried pills, diets, exercise, but finally there's a proven solution. Meet Eddie, a discreet device designed to help men strengthen and maintain their erections. Pills can be costly and result in debilitating side effects, so I checked out Eddie by Giddy at shrnetwork.biz/Eddie and found out that over 95% of men experience positive results wearing Eddie, according to a 2021 clinical trial. This product simply works and is easy to use. Sign up for a subscription at shrnetwork.biz/Eddie and save $20 on your first device with promo code SUPER20 with free device resizes and 60-day guarantee. You'll be glad you tried it. Treat ED with Eddie at shrnetwork.biz/Eddie.
There's a phenomenon that we're starting to understand about in the prevention. People who have age spots or liver spots, those are actually AGEs, advanced glycation end products, that are being caught in the skin. I can guarantee you that out of 10 people that have age spots, 8 of them are at least pre-diabetic. The more uncontrolled your blood sugar is, the more of these AGEs, or let's keep age spots, you'll get all over your body. You know what they look like. They're kind of big and come in all different types of shapes. They're very flat. They're brown, like the color of coffee with cream in it. But then that depends on your skin color starting out. very fair-skinned people, they just look like really huge freckles. And those of us who have a little bit more melanin in our skin, they kind of look darker, like I said, like the color of coffee with cream in it. If you're getting these and you're not checking your blood sugar, you should start. If you're getting these and you don't know what your HbA1c is, you should find out. Because I'm willing to bet you're going to find out that your blood sugar is up in the above 85 most of the time, even fasted. And, you know, people who are in the 90s, diabetes starts at 125 milligrams a liter of sugar. So if you're in the 90s, 95, I mean, you're knocking on that door. You're pre-diabetic. And we know from research that pre-diabetes does all the same things full-blown diabetes does, except it just takes longer. So people who have type 2 diabetes have the highest risk of skin cancer. Well, if you are pre-diabetic, then you probably have a fairly high risk of skin cancer as well, because of the glucose, because of the insulin, because of the advanced glycation that's taking place in your skin. Now, Kirkland Worletti reminded me I didn't talk about the differences in skin tones, right? So there's a lot of Scandinavian people that they're literally so white you could see their blood vessels. And then there's people like me all the way to African-American people. I mean, I'm very dark. I'm darker than some of my African-American friends, which makes me proud. And I am protected against skin cancer because my people came from near the equator. And they spent a lot more time in the sun, probably working in the fields. So I am somewhat protected against skin cancer because I evolved under a lot of sun exposure. In fact, I even have higher vitamin D3 binding protein because my people spent so much time in the sun that they had to have mechanisms to keep their D3 from getting too high. Think about that. I would imagine African Americans have the same thing. And if you're fair-skinned, you definitely have a higher risk. But not all fair-skinned people who go in the sun get skin cancer. So that comes back to correlation and causality again. So what are those people who are fair-skinned, who go out in the sun, they get as tan as they can get, but they don't develop skin cancer, have going on differently than the fair-skinned person who goes out in the sun one time and gets skin cancer? Comes back to diet, folks. Comes back to diet. The cause of skin cancer is your diet. It's not the sun. The Book of Matches didn't light the house on fire. It didn't put the match to the curtain. A person did. The person is causing the house fire, not the matches. Your diet is causing your skin cancer, not the sun. It's a fact. Even skincancer.org knows it. Your dermatologist knows it. Why aren't they talking to you about this? When you come in and you have something biopsied and they go, it's not cancerous, but you know, you're getting a lot of these age spots, and you're getting a lot of like skin tags and stuff. And this is evidence that there's stuff in your skin that your skin doesn't like. Let's look at your diet. Unfortunately, if they turn to the American Dietetic Association, they'll just tell you to keep eating the food you're eating. So what to do? Well, the first thing that you should consider doing is making sure you get more vitamin A, real vitamin A in your diet. Don't rub it on your skin. Swallow it. And carotenoids. Another such antioxidant that's been shown to have protective effects on the skin are xanthans, right? So methylxanthan, canthaxanthin. In fact, they're sold as a supplement to take before you go out to the beach, because they make your skin a golden color. Ooh, there's that stuff you're swallowing getting into your skin again. Vitamin C is another one. Do things to lower your blood sugar. If your blood sugar is creeping up, your blood sugar should be between 70 and I'd say the highest 85, and I think 70 to 80 is really sweet. Some of us run lower. I don't have any age spots at all. My blood sugar in the morning is between 67 and 72. I've been told by 2 doctors that I have freak of nature blood sugar control. That's not true. I do things. I eat a certain way. I sleep a certain way. I train a certain way. I do things. That's where it comes from. I'm starting to think that there's suspicious food ingredients out there we just don't know enough about. I'd love to see the FDA step up in light of the rate of skin cancer in America. There's like 5 million cases a year. 5 million. Think about things that there's only 11,000 of them. People want to start, a campaign and an organization and rally. 5 million people a year get skin cancer. Depending on what database you look at, 80 to 90% of them are already type 2 diabetic. So shouldn't dermatologists be asking their patients who come in and have a lesion taken off and they find out that it's cancerous, hey, are you diabetic? Yeah, well, you need to fix that or you're going to keep getting skin cancer. Why don't they have that discussion with them? I'd love to see an organization come out and start to examine the photocarcinogenicity of different questionable food ingredients, different artificial, not natural ones, artificial ones. We already know that the polyunsaturated oils seem to cause oxidative stress. Guess which oils don't cause oxidative stress? Saturated fats, the ones that the government tells you not to eat. So the government tells you don't eat saturated fat. Government tells you don't take real vitamin A because it's toxic. I've been saying for years that the government needs to stay out of our pantry because they have no knowledge about what's healthy and what's not. They don't. But I'd love to see photokinetics of foods examined. Take a food ingredient and put it out under the sun and see if it turns into a carcinogen, a known carcinogen. That's a simple thing to do. And for the fair-skinned person, if you're going to go on vacation, load up on real vitamin A and carotenoids and astaxanthin and canthaxanthin and vitamin C. And if you want to even cross over to the dark side, try a little melanotan 2. It's just 25 to 50 micrograms a day. Start 2 or 3 weeks before you go on vacation. You'll actually have a tan when you get there. That's what melanotan 2 was created for. I don't know if people realize it. I think everybody thinks that melanotan 2 was created for those of us who just want to look really good with a tan all year long without having to lay in the sun. For those of you who don't know, melanotan 2 is actually a very powerful form of melanocortin-stimulating hormone. That's the same hormone your skin produces when you lay in the sun that makes you tan. But that hormone leads to the production of 5 other hormones that have profound health benefits for your body. In fact, stimulating the melanocortin receptors has been just shown to be able to push the progression of Parkinson's disease back. You think the sun isn't good for us? We evolved for over 1 million years under the direct exposure of the sun. The sun actually influenced who we are today. But then dermatologists tell you stay out of the sun and rub all this artificial crap on your skin instead. And people are still getting skin cancer. Don't be afraid of the sun. The sun is good for you. But do the things that make you and the sun get along better. Don't blame your skin cancer on the sun. Your skin cancer is because of your crappy diet. And that's shown in science. Don't argue with me about this just because your doctor doesn't think that. There was a time when doctors gave people mercury for syphilis because they thought it cured it. Oh, yeah, it cured it and cured everything else. It ruined your brain. You were fixed everywhere then. If the sun caused cancer, unequivocally, it was the cause. Everybody who gets in the sun would have cancer. We wouldn't have this discussion. We would have died 1 million years ago from skin cancer. If RF caused cancer, everybody who has a router and a cell phone would have cancer, but they don't. Which you have to ask, so what else is playing out here? And the one thing that is for sure is that people who have no vitamin A in their skin get cancer, skin cancer. Diabetics get a higher rate of skin cancer. They have crappy diets. And by supplementing with carotenoids and vitamin A and vitamin C can actually protect you from getting skin cancer. So that's it, folks. Stop allowing people to lie and tell you that skin cancer is caused by the sun, because it's not. And now you know, and now you can protect yourself and your family. And go forward and teach everybody else too. Thank you for listening to me today. This was fun, just me, but we'll have guests tomorrow. I promise you won't have to listen to me drone on again anytime soon. See you tomorrow.